Welcome everyone to our webinar today on digital transformation and the opportunities for time and cost efficiencies that can bring. I am joined today by Matt Liggitt, an account manager with AWS, and Hannah Beck, one of the project managers here at Pulsion. During our webinar this morning, Matt will give an introduction to AWS services and why they choose to work with digital solution partners such as ourselves. Following that, I'll provide an insight into some interesting industry statistics and demonstrate why multiple digital projects are subject to delay and often failure, and the steps we're taking here at Pulsion to address this problem, which we see as an industry-wide issue. We'll then open up to a panel discussion where Matt and Hannah will offer their thoughts on the ways to approach digital projects. So to kick off, I'm going to hand over to Matt to begin.
Thanks, Fiona. I'll just wait till the slide loads. That's great. Okay, so you could call me biased here, but I'd argue that the cornerstone of any digital transformation is with infrastructure. So having the right infrastructure that allows you to make changes quickly, to innovate, and to have that agility. And to be realistic, you don't get that often with traditional infrastructure, where you're buying equipment to sit on premises for a long time, and you're either over or under provisioned during the time that you own it, and it's continually becoming outdated versus cloud computing, where you're accessing these resources through the internet, which is inherently more innovative, more agile, in the sense that you use what you want when you need it. You can scale up and down. You have access to the most recent technology on demand. And if you go to the next slide here, Fiona, you do have options when it comes to cloud computing. And what sets AWS apart then is the fact that we've been doing this the longest. So we're the longest standing cloud computing organization, been doing this since 2006. Over that time, we've built up a collection of over 200 different services, which can be put together to run any workload in the cloud. And we have the largest global infrastructure of any cloud computing organization. So 32 different geographic regions, which you can deploy services in. That's important because if you're in the UK, you have residency requirements to keep all your data, your services in the UK. You can do that by just using our London region, but gaining all of the benefits of the cloud as well. And because we've gained this huge scale, this huge size, we have economies of scale with purchasing, and we've continuously passed on price reductions to customers 129 times to date. So everything that I've said sounds fantastic in the sense of the innovation, the flexibility, the agility that cloud can bring, but it really takes the right skills and experience to put all of this together and to make it work for you along with a digital transformation journey. And that's where Pulsion comes in as a partner. They're a registered, trusted partner with AWS. They have this experience, this skill set. If you pop to the next slide here, Fiona. So you can see here an overview of the main AWS services, from the core services such as storage, compute, and databases, to the more topical and interesting AI and machine learning, including generative AI. And all of these can be architected in different ways to achieve the digital transformation that you're looking to, but Pulsion are that bridge for you to help you along that journey. One final slide, if you don't mind moving on. Just to touch on security. So security is a top priority for AWS. We are continuously audited by third parties to ensure that the cloud itself is secure. So the data centers and all the physical equipment is secure itself. And then we also give organizations a host of tools and services which the likes of Pulsion can architect in a certain way to make sure that you have the correct security posture and all of your data and services in the cloud are secure as well. It's for these reasons that the most security conscious organizations are using cloud and AWS, the likes of DVLA, who hold all driver records in the UK on AWS, or Genomics England, who have millions of genomes hosted on AWS as well. So that was a bit of a whistle-stop tour of cloud and AWS, but yeah, there's a lot of potential for harnessing cloud, and as I said, Pulsion are that bridge with the skills and the experience to bring the right services together at the right time for you.
So at Pulsion, we're well versed in delivering digital projects with over 28 years experience across a range of private and public sector organisations. And one thing we're really proud of is building real long-term relationships with our clients, many having entered into multi-year agreements with us. Embarking in any digital solutions project can be a minefield, and we understand that. We hear questions all the time from where do I start? Things are going to be too expensive. AI is not for us. But when you cut through all that noise and get it right, there are huge benefits to be gained in terms of the savings of time and costs and efficiencies for any organisation. For example, just thinking of one client that's worked with us, they have said that they have achieved a 25% reduction in administrative tasks as a result of the solution which they implemented. Our primary focus as a digital solutions partner is on requirements and getting requirements right. For that, we have developed our own in-house requirements gathering software tool, and we are very focused on initial discovery digital consultations to get requirements right. We're often asked, why do we focus so much on requirements? Well, there are industry statistics which show that there is actually a 70% failure rate in digital transformation projects, which as an industry, that is a hugely significant number. The single biggest reason for that failure is not getting the requirements right and accurate at the outset. So how do you get that part right? So at this point, I want to bring back the panel and explore this topic in more detail with our panel discussion on this. So Hannah, you've managed some of our consultancy sessions with a wide range of clients, most recently with the Church of Scotland. Can you outline some of the issues that they were facing before they started speaking to us?
So the Church of Scotland were experiencing a variety of issues before they engaged with us and started their discovery workshops. The main issues centred around a lack of centralisation when it came to databases and applications that were utilised across the organisation. So the systems used within the Church of Scotland are very much standalone application. They're individual to departments or sometimes even to one person, with it being run locally on their machine. There's also limited integration between these applications, which was having a significant impact on each department's workflow and their efficiency. As the data doesn't flow seamlessly between the applications, a lot of vital information was being missed, or it was incorrect, or it was duplicated. The employees of the Church of Scotland were not only lacking trust in the accuracy of the data, but they also didn't trust the applications to actually meet their needs, and they were therefore resorting to completing daily tasks out with the systems, and were often relying on manual workflows and kind of paper-based solutions.
Okay. And thinking about the wide range of consultation sessions you've had with various different clients, have you noticed common themes in terms of what they were all experienced when you kick off these sessions?
Yeah, definitely. So typically clients who engage in consultation sessions, they have a good idea of what they want to achieve and what their end goal is, but they don't quite know how to get there. So usually they've done their research and they know what they need to work to, they know that they need to work towards digital transformation or implement some kind of digital solution, but they don't know where to start or what the steps are involved. Their goals are typically to reduce long-term costs or to improve efficiency, keep up with competitors, or resolve a specific issue that's been identified. the consultation helps these clients understand the steps that are involved in achieving their goals. They can then receive recommendations on where they need to make changes and understand how going digital can help them.
Okay. And Matt, from the issues that Hannah's outlined from working with the clients, do you at AWS see this from a lot of clients as well, in terms of they know that they need to do something, but they're a bit overwhelmed on where to start and how to get things started and kicked off and implemented?
Absolutely, it'd be quite typical, and we don't expect customers to come to us knowing the kinds of AWS services that they need to implement and how to implement them. As I mentioned, there's over 200, more than anyone can remember. But how we typically work is through what we name a working backwards process. So we'll work with customers, often with partners like Pulsion, over a number of sessions and understand where ultimately the customer needs to get to based on the current state and the most ideal future state. Once we have that in mind, we can then work backwards from there, looking at, okay, which services are going to come into play, what's the priority here in terms of how we go about this digital transformation.
Okay. And Hannah, can you outline the kind of process that you go through in running the sessions?
Yeah, so the process varies from client to client, and we really like to tailor these sessions depending on the client that we're working with and what their goal is and what they're looking to achieve. Typically, though, we get to know the client and the business and what their desired outcomes and goals are. We then meet with key user groups and seek to understand the key, I guess, issues that users are experiencing and what their pain points are, and also the risk associated if those issues aren't addressed. We then use that information to form requirements, which then allows us to assess and identify potential solutions that will help that client reach their goals.
Okay. And Matt, how does AWS approach the requirements gathering process? I know you mentioned the working backwards process there. Can you just expand on that a wee bit further?
Yeah, so it's a process of sitting down with a customer, taking kind of technology out of it often and understanding, where is the organization at today? Where is the pain being experienced and what's the implication of that? And then, where is the future state ideally? And what would the benefits of that be? Now, there's an involved process then of looking at, okay, what makes sense to just migrate to the cloud as is, whereas a lot of the time things won't run on the cloud like they have done on premises with legacy software. You'll need to look at some kind of modernization. And again, this is where Pulsion comes in with the experience you have of doing this, looking at these candidates to migrate versus modernize, and working with a customer to actually do that lift and shift and start to architect things in the way they should be, and manage these services on an ongoing basis.
Thank you. And Hannah, can you point to specific successes you've had in running the sessions and what the outcomes were?
Yes, so during our discovery sessions, we've been able to kind of collaboratively develop sets of requirements with our clients by delving into their pain points and desired outcomes. Our clients have recognised that their successful projects have largely been successful due to the well-defined specification that was an output of the sessions that we ran with them.
Okay, thanks both. So in spite of the industry statistics that I mentioned earlier, it's hugely important to point out that when things do go right, there's huge benefits in terms of efficiencies to be gained. So I want to now open up to some audience questions that we've had. First of all, do you offer different options in terms of what's involved in the consultations?
Again.
Did you not hear that there, Hannah? Yeah.
No, it's
The first question was, do you offer different options in terms of what's involved in the consultations?
Yes, so we offer 3 different package options, and they all have kind of different lengths of days and outputs, and we can also tailor packages if required. So I'll just run through the 3 different packages now. So the first one is called the Navigate package, that's a 5-day package, and that includes a full requirements review. The next package would be the Explore package, so that's 8 days of discovery. That includes a full requirements review, and then we'll also do a Moscow analysis. So this is just a way of prioritising and kind of managing requirements. It basically stands for like must have, should have, could have, and then either won't have or just won't have right now. So that allows us to kind of understand what is most important to you, and what should we implement first. And then we'll also define your kind of minimum viable product, which is just like the kind of most, I guess, like highest priority requirements to kind of form your product or project. And then the last one would be the Pioneer package, and that's a 16-day discovery. Again, includes the full requirements review, the Moscow analysis. You also get a kind of Q&A session of your requirements to just get a little bit more information around them. And then there's also a wireframing session as well.
Okay, thanks. And another one that's come in is, are you committed to a full project after that consultation period?
No, not at all. So the output, including all of the designs, the wireframes, the requirement specification, they're all owned by the client who engages with us in the discovery workshops. The client can then choose to proceed with us as their delivery partner, which we're well equipped to do, but there's no obligation to do that.
Yeah. The next question, I think, is one I think we can all answer and maybe give different perspectives on. What kind of knowledge and experience is required for digitisation? So I would say initially it's kind of hard to say. It very much depends on the size and scale of the project, which is one of the reasons why we are so focused on requirements. And part of that is to understand the skills that would be involved for the project as well, and why it's important to get that right. But maybe throw that over to both Matt and Hannah as well and get your thoughts on that too.
Yeah. I would probably just add that, I guess from the client side, there's no expectation that those engaging in the discovery workshops will have any kind of technical knowledge or background relating to digital transformation. I think, as Matt said earlier, we don't expect you to know how to get there. That's our job for the discovery workshops. The most important thing is that you know what you're trying to achieve, what the outcome should be, and just to ensure that there's kind of representatives from key user groups present with the knowledge about daily tasks and the issues and pain points that are encountered frequently. We bring the technical expertise both in terms of how to effectively gather the requirements, project management, and then how to actually implement the necessary technology.
Okay.
Yeah, very similar answer from my side, in the sense that we don't expect or require any customer to have skills in AWS in order to get started. Quite often is the case that organizations will be working with Pulsion or another partner, and they choose to be very hands-off with their AWS environment, the outsourcing the build and the management to Pulsion themselves.
Okay, thank you. And not related to requirements, but we've also got one saying we've seen organisations increasingly prioritise sustainability in relation to their technology and digital plans. And how is AWS approaching this area?
Yeah, we've seen a huge increase over the past couple of years of sustainability being a major item for organisations. So reporting on sustainability and even becoming part of tender processes. For us, it's massively important. We are the world's largest corporate buyer of renewable energy. We're on track to be running all data centers by 100% on 100% renewable energy by 2025. And also we're starting to, well, we're not starting to, we are providing tools for customers as well. So within the AWS dashboard, there is a carbon footprint tool where customers can see their carbon usage based on what they're consuming in the cloud, importantly, how that compares to running in an on-premises data center as well, and the savings there. So yeah, it's something that we're very conscious of, and making an effort to be transparent about carbon use in the cloud and helping customers to understand how they're benefiting from cloud in that way as well.
Okay, thank you. So I just want to thank everyone for their time today, especially thanking Matt and Hannah for joining me on the panel and giving their insights. I hope everyone has found it valuable in terms of the insights, regardless of where you are in your digital transformation journey, or if you're just starting out. We do offer a free initial consultation to clients, and we obviously want to offer all of you as attendees the opportunity to take that up. I know some of you during your registration process have expressed an interest in that, and we'll be in touch to get that scheduled into the diary with you. Otherwise, just contact us via the website pulsion.co.uk and we'll be happy to meet with you and get that scheduled. Thanks again, and everyone enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you.